Hello, this is Sonja from My Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. Today I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do some flower doodling. I think sometimes it's good to just get a little bit of your comfort zone and do something different than printables, because it's easy to divert always back to printables. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use these dual brush markers. I bought them from a local shop called Typo. I think it's an American shop. And they've got dual markers, they've got fine liners, and they've got brush pens. And I love these muted colors. I was very glad when I saw them. I've been looking for muted colors for a while. And then I'm also just going to use this Faber-Castell brush markers also. I'm going to use the yellow and the blue at the end. I'm going to stick to the pink and just have those sort of these muted colors with the pink, and I'm just going to do flower doodling. So I'm journaling in Chronicles 16, and it is from verse 8, and it's a David song of thanks, but I will tell you in a little bit later about that. I just show you this paper I bought a while ago. It's a creamy, soft paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut a piece which is exactly the same as my Bible. I'm going to do the doodling on there, just to prevent some bleed through. And I also think it's much easier to do some Bible journaling when it's flat, or especially doodling, than trying to squeeze in the inside of your Bible. So if you ever feel like you don't want to do watercoloring or painting or whatever in your Bible because you're worried you're going to mess it up, that's also a nice way of doing it. Just to stick a piece of paper on it, practice and do it till you're happy with it, and then put it in your Bible. I've just made a round circle for a wreath, and then I'm going to just make these very simple leaves. I'm going to make it hug around the circle, just to have a center. And obviously I'm going to put my title in there. So I'm just using one of the colors. I've made a color swatch, as you can see there on the right hand side, just to know what colors I'm exactly going to use. So yeah, the wreath is just it's just very, very basic leaves. Anybody can do that. I'm following a lady called Shada Campbell, and she's done a tutorial on this. If you really want to improve your watercoloring and your doodling, or your artistic skills, she's a very good YouTuber to follow. I'll definitely link her down below here. I have shown some tutorials of her previously. So yeah, I will encourage you to follow her. And obviously mine didn't turn out as well as hers, but I'm quite happy with mine. She's a very, very skilled artist, so I can't expect to be on the same level as her, but practice makes perfect. Okay, while I'm doing these simple little leaves, I'm going to just read you where I am journaling. As I said, I'm journaling in 1 Chronicles 16, and that is David's song of thanks. Now, what happened is, beforehand, the Ark of the Covenant was just outside Jerusalem, and when David became king of Israel, he conquered Jerusalem, and he wanted to have a public place for the Ark to be, and he brought the Ark into Jerusalem to give it a public place and a place of prominence, where people can come and worship. And he was so thankful for it, and he praised God with this beautiful song. It says, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, make known the deeds among the people, sing to him, sing praises to him, tell of all his wondrous work. Glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his presence continuously. Remember the wondrous things that he has done, his miracles and judgment that he has done." David is just very, very excited about this wonderful moment. I'm just going to tell you about the flowers I'm making at the moment. It's very, very simple flowers. The back of the flowers is a bit taller than the front of the flower, so it almost looks like the flower is in a certain angle. So it's just a very simple technique where you start with the longer leaves at the back, and then you sort of have the smaller leaves hugging it around. And now I'm choosing my second flower, which is a very, very simple, I think it's a rose, but I can't remember what she calls it. I'm not very good when it comes to flower names. So I'm just making very loose circles, and I'm using a darker color, the darker pink, to make sort of accents. And then later I'm going to make black little dots in the middle to create that little seeds in the middle. So at the moment it looks very loose. It doesn't look really if anything is coming together, but I think that is the joy of doodling. It's just very, very simple doodling. It give an effect of a flower. It's something that we as children did, and that's probably why it's called doodling. So just to get back to the passage, as I said, David was very excited to bring the covenant or the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem, or now in Jerusalem. And I was just thinking of us now during this time of lockdown, which we couldn't go to the church. I think some churches in America is open. Our churches is open, but there's so many restrictions at the moment that it's almost not worthwhile going to church. We can't sing. We need to have a mask on. So we just decided we're still going to do church from home via the internet. So yeah, I'm just thinking the day when we go back to church, how wonderful and rejoicing we will have when we get back to church. We will hopefully be just as excited as David is here bringing the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem. So I'm looking forward to that day, and I think we probably will not take going to church for granted again. We will be excited to go because it can be so easily taken away from us. So, I mean, sometimes maybe in the past you might have felt some Sunday mornings or evenings, oh, I don't actually feel today like going to church. I feel like staying in bed, snuggling up, or maybe it's a cold winter's evening and a Sunday evening you don't want to go to church. But I'm just thinking every time you always go, you're always happy to go because you feel refreshed, and it's just something special being among believers and encouraging each other and just hugging and touching each other, all those things we took for granted and which we can't do at the moment. I truly hope it will come back. I don't want to accept it as a new normal, that we cannot be close together and touching each other, laying hands on each other, praying for each other, those wonderful things we as Christians do. So hopefully this day will come, and then we will also sing our song of rejoice to the Lord. I'm just making these loose 5-petal flowers, which is very, very simple also. It just gives this very whimsical effect. Some of them came out very sort of higgledy-piggledy, but yeah, mostly of it came out nicely. So C used a very, very grey color to give this almost white effect, but I didn't have a light enough grey. So I was just using the lightest pen I have. Now I'm going to go in with this fine liner, the darkest color, I think it's sort of a dark grey, and I'm just making these little stipples or little dots in the middle just to give the effects of the seeds and the inside of the flower. I think that just rounds the doodling off, make it a little bit more alive, making it a little bit more realistic. But obviously it's not essential. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. So, but I think it just, to me, the flowers just popped off. So, also what I'm going to do is I'm going to make cute little, what do you call it, berries. Yeah, and I think that's just a nice filler in. If you try to fill in a page and you don't actually know what to do anymore, these little berries is very easy to do, and they're obviously red, but I just used my dark pink because that's the closest to red I had. So basically it's just little stripes of dots on, and then I'm also just going to make little, almost like little stripes at the top as of these berries is popping open. And then I'm going to put also use my black Koki just to create a little bit of effect and to make it stand out a little bit. In the moment, I'm also going to use a white gel pen just to bring a little bit of accent on that grey leaves. You get very good gel pens. I think the Uniball gel pen, white gel pen is very good, but the one I've got was really rubbish. But if you look very close, you can sort of more or less see the white gel pen on it. Yeah, it looked very nice on her painting or her doodling, but yeah, I think it did the trick. But that's really something I think I'm going to invest in, is a better quality white gel pen. So I'm now just going to fill in a little bit more where I see some white space. Now I'm just going to go in and make a little bit more berries around the reef. I just thought the berries or the reef looks a little bit sort of very bland. So I thought that gave sort of brought almost the two together, connect the reef with the doodling on the outside to bring these little berries in. I've done my cursive, or not my cursive, my cursive in pencil. So I'm just going over with pen. I'm doing faux calligraphy, or try to do it. At the end, what I've done yet again, I've spelled, or I said Lords at the end. I think what happened is I sort of brought my pen up after the D, and as I was writing it, I thought it was a S. So I only picked it up afterwards. So I've corrected again. I just stuck a piece of paper on top of it and made the exclamation mark on it. And then I've just write 1 Chronicles 16 at the bottom. And as you can see, I'm just sticking it now in. I think I'm going to turn the page now, so you will see. You still can, you can still see it vaguely, but it's much better than it would have been there immediately. So I hope you enjoyed this entry. It was something different. I hope you're inspired to do something the same. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. It would be lovely to have you. And I'm going to leave you some close-up photos. You must have a fantastic day, and God bless you. Lots of love. Bye-bye.